How's it going today, everybody? Welcome back to another video for the Earthy Christianity YouTube channel. As always, my name is Jacob Daniel, and I hope you're having a lovely, wonderful day. The title of this video is going to be Exercise as Discipline and Self-Control. And honestly, I don't speak as any expert on this. I speak of somebody new to this experience, new to this. And maybe if you stumble across this video as a man or even as a woman, maybe give you some helpful tips or things that helped me do that, and kind of the inculcation of what has helped me do these things. So first and foremost, if you're anything like me at all, or in typical video fashion, what do I mean by that in terms of the title of this video, working out as discipline and self-control, or discipline and self-control of the Holy Spirit, as in terms of bearing fruit and the Spirit strengthening you. Well, we know that in this day and age, there is a ton of ways you can indulge, right? And the easiest way to indulge is to pick up your phone and doom scroll for a long time. That's the easiest way. And so in light of that, in light of those things, it's real easy to lose track, lose sight, lose focus. Or if you do that, then you know, from there, you know, it just that's the easiest way. You can indulge in food, you can indulge in sleep, you can indulge in pornography, you can indulge in just a lot of stuff in the day and age that we live in, right? So there's a necessity for a level of discipline and self-control, and I would argue routine, right? So the thing that I always struggled with doing this, especially with working out, because I, you know, through the grace of God and how He made me, my metabolic structure and everything, I can eat, and it adds no, I don't gain weight. I can think and worry too much, and I'll lose about 10 or 20 pounds. That's meant to be funny. I don't typically have an appetite or whatever sometimes. I mean, I guess I drink a lot of coffee, and that's an appetite suppressant, so on and so forth. But what are the things that helped me, or what are the things that spurred me in this direction? Well, as much as my niche is like theology and things like that, and the analogy I use and have talked about in a different video is like other people's interest in sports and knowing sports, or basketball or football or whatever it may be. Mine is theology. That my sports is theology and church history and whatnot, as I'm still learning and different things. So that's my football. Other people can sit around, you know, and talk about football, and they know football, they know players, they know me. I know theology. That's my theology. For me, that's theology. For my wife, it's the health world, working out, eating healthy or eating right, or different things, the seed oil kick and memes, whatnot. So she has been on that journey she got on that in like the first year of our marriage. We've been married for 3 1/3 years, or 3 1/3 years. So she was on that, and then I was always reluctant. I was not very disciplined. I did not grow up disciplined. I was, if you've seen my testimony video, you know that I grew up very wantonly. I was addicted to drugs and alcohol and whatnot. So I was very indulgent, selfish, gave into that. And even as I got saved, when the Lord saved me, I still struggled with pornography, and I was eventually delivered from pornography as a Christian. Within like the first 1.5 to 2 years of watching porn. And so then from that point, after the Lord delivered me there was still that was also an indulgence again. Then it wasn't until I had some experiences at work in my job that I was like, okay, I need to work out. I started having that kind of thought in the job I had previously. I was a manager for 2 UPS stores, or I started out as just an employee and eventually built to managing one, and then was moved to manage the other. And then if I came back to work at the other one, I would kind of be the pseudo manager there, but essentially the manager, the one who, you know, if an angry customer came in and was like, can I speak to your manager, they would come looking for me. And so with that said, doing that job and moving boxes, I knew that I wasn't necessarily healthy or limber, and that kind of spurred that. But then with this job and working in corrections, I some experiences that I had that I won't espouse just for the sake of, I don't know if I'm allowed to publicly, and I wouldn't. If I can't, I don't know. But that I was like, okay, I'm going to start working out. And so I did. And it started very, very simplistically. For me, so I espoused that I was very theologically minded. So things had to be grounded always for me in something that reminds me of something transcendent. So what did I start doing? Well, I knew what, in terms of my body, that I wanted to get stronger, and I also wanted to look nicer. And another motivation was for my wife, was so that, because my wife's infatuation could be more in me and my body style and what it looked like. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a vainglorious desire. If you ask me, you may argue against it, but if you're trying to get it for other people to look at you, then yes it is. But if you're doing it for your wife, and if your wife is trying to lose weight or get more fit for you, that's not vainglory. Your wife should do that, a husband should do that, so on and so forth. And that could be, you could look at that in any way, shape, or form that you like, and leave your comment of shame, of fat shaming or whatever. I'm not even fat shaming. You could just do it to look better. If your spouse is fine with the way you look, then not. But you could also do it for the health reasons, so that, you glorify God without what you're doing. So what did I start doing? What are things that helped? Well, these things will sound funny, but one of the things that helped me was, I want my meditation in the gym to be upon God. I want to be thinking about the Lord. I want to be thinking about Jesus. I want to be thinking about the Trinity. I want to be thinking about stuff like that. Well, in the gym, you have to do sets and reps and numbers, right? So my workout routine consisted of, I started doing 3 sets of 12. Those are biblical numbers, right? And you're thinking it's weird, but this helped cultivate the discipline, right? The 12 disciples. 12 is a number of perfection. The 12 tribes of Israel. The 144,000, right, in Revelation. And I would think about that. I would think about, okay, I'm doing 12, and then I would do 3 sets. That's Trinity. And then as I got into my routine and my workout, and I would do the 9th rep, and then when I do the 9th rep, if it was something where I was fatigued, I knew I had 3 more to go, I would do the 10th one in the name of the Father, the 11th one in the name of the Son, the 12th final one in the name of the Holy Spirit. And this would help me. This would put my mind on the Lord, and that, okay, God, I'm doing this to your glory. I'm doing this for your sake, not for vainglory, but I'm trying to think about you while doing this. This helped cultivate the discipline. Then when I did that and I realized I was doing it and I was just starting somewhere, I just got, now the blessing that I have is my job has its own workout room, and there's nobody ever in there. And even if there is somebody in there, there's only like one person, and you kind of don't have, now if you try to go to the gym or whatever, and you're worried about other people and their expectations and how you might look, that might be a little bit harder. But again, you would have to throw off the fear of man, for the fear of man is indeed a snare. It's going to snare you from going and trying to be more healthier. But not even, I would argue, for myself personally, and even objectively, this stuff is meant to build discipline. And to live by faith. That was the other big thing, was I had to believe that, okay, I'm not going to see the results right away. I have to come and do this by faith. I have to believe by faith that I'm building discipline, that I'm doing something that is ultimately good, that's objectively true, and I'm building that and I'm cultivating that for myself, for my family. Another big reason for doing that was because I had a daughter. I wanted to be limber for her. For my birthday this year, I know we're coming into the new year soon, but for this year, my wife got me a chiropractic consultation set of appointments. And when I went to the chiropractor, I had a small wake-up call. No, it wasn't small at all. It was fairly big. It was a big wake-up call where the chiropractor was like, yo, your posture is cracked. You're screwed. He didn't say that, of course. But my posture is screwed, and this would not help me being a father and playing with my children and having longevity of life to be able to, with my one daughter. And I was kind of like, whoa. So that was like, okay, I need to strengthen the muscles around which support my skeletal structure, because it was screwed. And I was literally, and one of the things, this is kind of a testimony in terms of getting that discipline, because I wanted to inculcate that discipline. My wife always told me about deadlifts being like the #1 workout and whatnot of things. And so what did I went to the gym, and I for like 2 weeks straight, pretty much every day before work or on my break, I would go work out for a half hour. That's all it was. It was just a half hour. And I would include like 3 sets of 12 deadlifts. And in a week and a half, right? Like maybe even the first week, my lower back muscles, because of the deadlift and what it does, it strengthens, I could stand up straighter. It was physically not because the muscles were built that quickly. Now, I have that body structure that allows that, and not everybody has that same thing. But that all to say that starting somewhere and just garnering the discipline, just doing it by faith. And a lot of times that is our life. Our life is lived by faith. And a lot of people will be like, oh, that's so simplistic, or that's prosperity or whatever. No, that's just biblical Christianity. You have to live and do everything that you do in your life by faith. Every single thing that you do. You don't see the progress and the results right now. You never will. Now, there's a lot of things where you can pray and ask God by faith, and he may do it immediately, miraculously. But faithfulness, and this is, again, I always say this and I sound like a broken record, and I'll go back and look at these videos, or somebody else, oh, there he goes again, saying that same thing. But that's the earthiness of the Christianity, of the pilgrimage, in the sense that we are doing the sloshing in the muck and the mud. We're doing these things by faith. They seem mundane, but we're being faithful to the gracious Creator God who called us and gave us these opportunities. And we're thankful, and we're giving thanks, and we're being faithful, and we're praising the Lord through it. So all that to say, that's kind of where I started, and maybe I hope that's helpful. But then the Holy Spirit garners that discipline. He helps us. He strengthens us along. He gives us the power and the strength, and we're grateful, because we want the self-control and the discipline to honor and glorify God. Yeah, I hope that's helpful. Hope it blessed you anyway. Grace and peace to the saints. God bless to the rest, and take care. Have a great day.